fellow brawlers, I'm KairosTime and it's time to brawl. Now that you get to choose every gadget and star power that you unlock, there's a lot of weight going into where you want to spend your gold. And in this video, I'm going to give my top 10 gadgets and my top 10 star powers. I just realized this is only 10 total, but yeah, these are the ones to save your gold for. We're gonna start off with the gadgets. We're gonna start at number 10, which is Slowmo Replay, then count our way down. If you have Buster right now, you know he's ridiculously strong, and his Slowmo Replay gadget is so good. A big reason why it's so good is just because Buster himself is also really good, but being able to pull brawlers closer to Buster is especially good since his damage increases the closer the enemy is to the attack. And even if Buster can't finish the enemy off, this gadget slows them down, which is downright unfair. It makes it a lot easier for his teammates to take them out as well. Now, since his attacks can hit multiple targets with the same ammo, this gadget can also affect several different targets at the same time, which can actually lead to a straight up team wipe. Even if Buster himself has to sacrifice himself to slow all of them down, sometimes that's what your team needs. Buster's first gadget, Utility Belt, is good, but seriously, Slowmo Replay is the one to go for. I've got more to cover, but first I wanted to give a big thank you to Repeatgg for sponsoring this video. Repeatgg is actually really cool. It's a platform that constantly holds tournaments for several different games based off of leaderboard progression. They actually hold tournaments every day, and you can enter into more than one of them at a time to increase your chances of winning. And the prize for this is actual cash. In fact, Repeatgg gives away over $80,000 a month in prize money, and they're looking to increase that number every single month. And you can absolutely win some of that prize money in Brawl Stars. Right now, they have two different formats for each Brawl Stars tournament they hold. One format lasts an entire month long, and the goal is to achieve as many trophies as possible during that month. The other format only lasts 2 hours, and the goal is to win as many Power League matches as you can, with bonus points if you can win more than one match in a row. Now, Tribe Gaming has actually teamed up with Repeatgg, and they are holding a Brawl Stars tournament following these formats with a prize pool of $5,000. I myself will be participating in this tournament, and you can sign up by clicking that link in the description below. All you have to do is create a Repeatgg account, which is totally free, and then connect your Brawl Stars ID to your Repeat account, which honestly only took me like 30 seconds to do both of those things. So click that link below and start earning some cash for all your hard work. And once again, a huge thank you to Repeatgg for sponsoring this video. The number 9 gadget is Penny's Salty Barrel gadget. As you guys know, Penny really struggles against really tanky brawlers, and her Salty Barrel gadget basically gives her no weaknesses since it can actually destroy tanks, right? If they're not quick to attack it and get it down quickly, she attacks it, it will splash on them, and it just deals insane damage. And if she's not facing off against like close range brawlers or something like that, she can also use it to block a lot of weak attacks, and that is actually really good against like Tick Super or B's supercharged attack, or it can provide a ton of cover against like a Jean attacking from a long distance away. One of the reasons why I like this is that there's pretty much always going to be a use for it, no matter who you're facing or what is happening, unless you happen to be facing off against another Penny or a Jessie or a Belle who's going to be bouncing shots. But in any other situation, you should be using this gadget at least 3 times every single match because it's so useful. Now, Penny's trusty Spyglass gadget is fine, but it's really easy to dodge, so that's why you want to go with Salty Barrel. Coming at number 8 for gadgets is Colette's Gotcha gadget. Now, this gadget does require some good timing since she actually has to take damage if she's going to get any use out of it. But if it's timed right and you're using it against the right target, it can make Colette practically invincible for like 5 whole seconds. It also really pairs well with her mass tax star power because when she's healing with a shield on, it's kind of like a double heal in a way. Colette's other gadget does deal some serious damage, but if you miss, it's totally wasted, and Gotcha lasts for 5 whole seconds, so you have little room for mistakes. Coming in number 7 for gadgets is Griff's Piggy Bank gadget. Honestly, gadgets that can break walls are always good because you can choose which walls to destroy, and like that is really useful, especially for a longer range brawler like Griff. Breaking any wall with Griff is really good because his attacks are a lot better at an open map, and not only can it improve Griff's performance, but he can create an entire comp around breaking certain walls. And the fact that his gadget can knock opponents back and deal damage to them is a nice addition. Rarely will enemies actually get hit by it because it's way easy to avoid, and especially when you compare it to his other gadget, Coin Shower, which only affects 1 attacks, yeah, you want to go with Piggy Bank. Coming in number 6 for gadgets is Stu's Breakthrough gadget. This gadget is good for, well, honestly, a lot of the same reasons that Piggy Bank is good for Griff, right? It can deal a fair amount of damage very easily, and it makes it very easy for Stu to assassinate brawlers on the other side of walls when they think that they're safe from him, right? You will definitely want to use this, especially if you're using his Zero Drag star power, because the amount of walls that you can break is like almost doubles in length. And honestly, Stu's Speed Zone gadget just hasn't been useful for a long time since it got nerfed so that its health actually decays over time. So Breakthrough is absolutely a must. Coming to number 5 for gadgets is Brock's Rocket Fuel gadget. gadget. I know, another one that can break walls, right? But without the need of a super, this is even better than Piggy Bank because you don't even need to be anywhere near a wall to break it. Not only can you break walls, but also increases the projectile speed and the blast radius of Brock's next attack, which makes it really easy to finish off weak brawlers because very few brawlers can actually avoid it. In fact, even with Brock's long range, if you hit them so that they're within death range of that rocket fuel gadget, then guess what? You could just hit that and auto aim it immediately and it will almost always hit. Brock's other gadget, Rocket Laces, is pretty good, but rocket fuel can give you an advantage that lasts the whole match. The number 4 gadget we've got is Rico's Bouncy Castle gadget. This can heal Rico for an insane amount of health in the right situation. You don't have to hit enemies with it for it to fully take effect, and it will fully heal Rico with only a few bounces of each bullet. In fact, with 4 bounces, which is really easy to do if you have 2 walls like this and you just go bounce back and forth, that will fully heal Rico, and if he's taking damage, sometimes it will overheal him so he will survive with full HP. And while that is going on, Rico is very difficult to kill. The attack isn't weakened at all, so even if you just want to heal up a little bit while you deal a little bit of damage to the enemy, you can use this offensively at the same time. Rico's multi-ball launcher gadget, it's very hard to hit enemies with. Very rarely does it deal damage unless you're standing right on top of like an enemy safe, but even then, you want Bouncy Castle to stay close to keep him alive during heist anyway. Coming at top 3 is Dynamite's Satchel Charge gadget. This gadget, honestly, I think that this gadget's unfair. I think it is too strong. If Dynamite has all of his ammo loaded up, and you know, maybe a super on top of that, and he hits an enemy with this gadget, it's basically a free kill. Unless you're attacking a Frank who's getting a shield from Gus and Poco's healing him all at the same time, you're gonna kill them like every single time. And it doesn't even matter if you hit more than one target with this gadget, anything that gets stunned is usually going to get destroyed. And even if Dynamite can't finish them off, then his teammates are going to do so. I almost did not consider putting this gadget in this video because Dynamite has been very weak up until this point, but recently Dynamite got some good buffs that makes his attacks way easier to land, which also makes this gadget much easier to use. Also, this is just way better than Fidget Spinner. This like rarely deals damage. It's really only useful for the quick speed boost, and like it's not gonna get you kills like Satchel Charge will. Coming at number 2 and almost number 1 was Carl's Flying Hook gadget. Carl is like already such a good brawler without this gadget, but this gadget just makes him is so insane. It adds an incredible amount of utility. Him being able to like use it and just like fly wherever he wants to. He can assassinate people. He can use it to score a goal in Brawl Ball. He can use it to get close to enemies when he uses his super. He can like use it to escape sketchy situations. He can even use it at the very beginning of a bounty match to get the blue star or something like that, right? He also deals damage with his regular attack to anything that moves through it while he's using this gadget, and it's insane. Carl's other gadget actually deals more damage than his Flying Hook gadget does, but the positioning that he gets with it is just way better. But coming at number 1 for gadgets is Squeals Residue gadget. I think it's fair to say that this gadget is the best in the game. 10 seconds of slow? That is a ridiculous amount of time, not just to slow somebody, but also just like have a section on the map that enemies know that they have to avoid. But guess what? I don't know what it is about this, but enemies kind of like, unless they're really competitive, they kind of suck at realizing, oh, that radius right there, I can't stand on there. People walk through it all the time, and it almost always leads to them getting killed. It's also incredibly easy to use, and you don't even have to hit an enemy with it for it to really be effective and activate it. However, if you do stick an enemy with it, then they are never gonna get out of there. That circle is so big and the slow is so effective that if Squeak doesn't kill him, your teammates are bound to. Squeak's other gadget is cool and it does deal some additional damage, and that's cool, but there's no comparison. And up next, we've got the top 10 star powers that you want to focus on spending your gold on. Coming at number 10 is Piper's Snappy Sniping star power. This ability has some very good value because Piper's regular reload speed is really slow, but each of her attacks can deal huge damage. If you're good at hitting your shots with Piper, this star power is just gonna give her shot after shot after shot. It makes Piper a very dangerous brawler to deal with. I actually considered putting the star power higher up on the list, like instead of rank 10, like maybe like rank 5, maybe a little better, but it's actually harder to use than most since it doesn't actually help you at all unless you hit your shots. That being said though, the ability works even if you hit enemy targets that are not brawlers. So I really like this for heist because you can deal a lot more damage to the safe, and Piper's honestly, other star power, Ambush, it can be very strong, but only on certain maps, and there are certain brawlers that can easily get rid of bushes, so it's not as reliable as Snappy Sniping is. Up next, we got Sam, and I know that Sam is a newer chromatic brawler, but if you have him, his Hardy Recovery star power is number 9. If you do have Sam, this is a must-have star power for Sam because it makes him so much more difficult to kill. He already has a lot of health, and since his star power restores health based off of percentage, it's a very good ability for any tank to have. Now, Sam even recently received a health buff, which has been an indirect buff to this star power. Most brawlers can't kill Sam in 3 shots, so a lot of the times he can just throw his super right at the enemy, run straight at them until you're close enough to hit them, and any attack that deals damage over time will never kill Sam because with this star power, he can easily just throw his super against a nearby wall and like he's gonna stay alive. Sam's other star power is just too easy for enemies to avoid, and most of the time you'll charge his super just by picking up the knuckle busters anyway, which is why Hardy Recovery is the go-to option. Coming in number 8 is Lou's Hypothermia star power. This is one of the best star powers in the game, and the only reason it's not higher on this list is because Lou is just about average right now. 50% of an enemy's attack damage is a huge nerf, and the damage gets nerfed little by little up until that 50%, so you feel the effect for most of the match because every time Lou hits them, they're frosted or they're cold for a little bit, they're gonna have a little bit of damage reduction. In fact, the quickest way for them to get rid of that frost is for them to just get totally frozen, but you don't usually live through that, right? Frost can also be applied to a number of targets at the same time, so his ability usually nerfs the enemy output of the entire enemy team. Lou's other star power only improves his super, while Hypothermia makes his super and regular attack a lot better, which is why it's the go-to. Coming to number 7 for star powers is Buzz's Eyes Sharp. Depending on the map, this star power can be the difference of whether or not Buzz is even playable at all. The added range that it gives him actually makes him a viable option, even against long-range sharpshooters, which is like one of the best type of brawlers for him to actually counter. And even on maps with lots of walls, or even against close-range brawlers, this star power is actually really valuable because guess what? If more people are within his radius, he will charge his super even faster. Buzz's other star power is really good and useful against brawlers that have lots of health and are close range, but it's totally useless if you can't reach the enemies, which is why Eyes Sharp is the better option. Coming at number 6 for star powers is for you Mortis lovers out there, Creepy Harvest. Mortis is constantly getting into risky situations. It's one of the reasons why I hate when my random teammates are playing Mortis, right? He can only deal damage at point blank range, so the more health that he can recover, the better. His super obviously does help him some, but in competitive matches, this star power is a must use for Mortis because you obviously don't have your super always charged up. Even if you are in a more casual match, this star power gives you the best chance of getting like really good team wipes because every time you heal somebody for 1,000 health, not every brawler can actually take out 1,000 health with each attack, right? Everything about the way Mortis is played just makes this better for him. His other star power does make not very much difference at all. It's one of the worst in the game, so that's why Creepy Harvest is a better option. Coming to number 5 is Chester's Bellomania star power. I actually didn't really want to include any legendary brawlers in here because not everybody has him, and like Chester is the newest legendary brawler, so like most people probably don't have him, but this star power is so insane. It's honestly it's the best one in the game. It is. It's not even close. This one provides so much insane value that like I couldn't even justify putting it higher on the list because I can almost guarantee you it is going to get nerfed. Like it's too strong right now. It's a no-brainer for Supercell to nerf this. It adds over 4,000 damage to Chester's regular attack, and that alone is just insane. Even at long range, where only one of the bells are actually going to hit an enemy target, it makes it so that he can just auto-aim his attack, and it will guarantee hit them as long as they're within his range because the attack is so spread out. Coming to number 4 is Nita's Hyper Bear star power. Nita's bear without this star power is very underwhelming, right? Her Hyper Bear star power makes her bear go from something like you don't have to worry about at all to like you have to get rid of it as fast as possible because it's going to destroy your safe, which this star power is what makes Nita actually competitive in any game mode, and in heist specifically where you have that safe, that's where you're going to be playing her. She goes from being unusable in heist and competitively not good to being one of the best brawlers for heist just because of the star power. Her other star power can be really good at like soaking up enemy ammo and stuff like that, but this makes her actually effective competitively in at least one game mode, which is why you want it. Speaking of bears, number 3 on the list is Bo's Snare Bear. This makes his mines go from being like a pretty strong attack to an automatic kill to anybody that gets hit by them. All it takes is just one mine to hit, and then they're gonna be stunned for 2 whole seconds. That feels like an eternity when you're playing Brawl Stars, right? It usually leads to them dying, because if Bo can't kill them, your teammates are going to be able to help kill them, right? On top of that, depending on where the enemy is when they are hit, if they set off more than one mine, they're not going to be able to escape the range of the other mines, so they'll take even more damage and be stunned for even longer. Bo's other star power is one of the best on maps that are really bushy, but guess what? The vision gear has pretty much made it just not as essential as it was before, and that's why you want to go with Snare Bear. Coming to number 2 for star powers is B's Insta B Load. B's supercharged attack is one of the strongest single projectiles in the game, so the more often you can land the shot, the better. Or not even just land it, but able to use it, right? Even though the star power does allow you to miss just once, the difference of one missed shot is actually crazy. This star power allows B to play way more aggressively throughout the entire match. She doesn't have to save her shots so much, and even if you have really good aim with B, I promise you that in competitive matches where enemies are very good at dodging, this star power provides a ton of value. Now, her other star power is a pretty strong shield, but it makes it so that you don't want to use her supercharged shot, which is not very good for B. That's why you want Insta B Load. But the number 1 star power has got to be Surge's Serve Ice Cold. This star power gives Surge such extremely good value for charging your super, because once you charge it up just once, then he's going to be upgraded for the entire rest of the match. There is a major difference between a level 1 Surge and a level 2 Surge. So if you can stay at level 2, even if you die, it will be much easier to upgrade again to level 3 and even level 4. Not only does this star power keep you at level 2 if you die, but even in games like Brawl Ball or Knockout where you have multiple stages and you reset, it helps him stay there at new rounds, which is it's honestly essential for him. He's not competitive without it. Also, if you die with your supercharge after having already upgraded to level 2, then you can instantly recharge to level 3 after you respawn, which gives Surge a huge advantage. Surge is one of the strongest brawlers in the game if he's maxed out all the way to power 4, and that's why this is so good. His other star power, honestly, it's very conditional. It's one of the worst star powers in the game, and that's why you want to go with Serve Ice Cold. And those are my top 10 gadgets and star powers that I think you should be saving your gold for. You might have different brawlers that are unlocked, or you might have other brawlers that are a little bit more of your favorite, so obviously you don't have to go with these first, but this is my opinion at least. Let me know in the comment section if you disagree with me, and also I'd appreciate you letting me know if you thought this was valuable. While you're doing that, I'd appreciate you guys going to the Brawl Stars shop and entering code Kairos to not only support me, but also support the families of those who help create content on my channel. We're talking editors, script writers. It allows me to create the content you guys love, which you can subscribe for right here and check out right here. We got some other videos as well. For now, this is KairosTime ticking by, and we will see you in Brawl Stars.